Hi, my name's Daniel James, and this is Moral Vice. As it says on the screen, it's a prototype. It's just showing a single combat scene where our player characters, Lucius and Beatrice, are going to fight a pair of enemies. In the prototype, Beatrice has the same abilities as Lucius, but because hers are not yet implemented. But in the full game, she would have her own suite of abilities as shown in the game design document. This demo here is intended purely as a demonstration of the combat system. Apologies in advance if there is some noise in the background. Someone's decided to do some DIY as I'm recording this. So Moral Vice is a RPG with turn-based strategy combat, similar to something like Divinity Original Sin, also harkening back a little bit to stuff like Baldur's Gate. So let's just hop straight into the video, into the combat, shall I say. Hitting the start button here should take us to the combat scene. So here's our combat scene. With W, A, S, and D, I can move my camera around to get different views of the battlefield. I can elevate myself with spacebar and go back down with shift, and I can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel. So we can always have a view of the battle. Here we have a little sample scene. This is designed specifically for this demo, so that the combat can be seen more clearly. An actual level wouldn't necessarily look like this, as we've got a big clear area here in the middle, so that you can see what's going on. And then these buildings around the side, just kind of demonstrating the sort of art style I'm looking for. As you can see, the lighting is generally quite dark, gloomy, except for these warm lights there to give some kind of hope, I guess. But the characters are spotlighted just to make sure that it's clear where they are, even if they were in kind of a darker area over here or something. We're currently controlling Lucius, as he has the highest speed stat. In the turn order up here, you can see that Beatrice is next in turn order, then the Eldritch Terror, which is this guy, and the Eldritch Horror, which is this guy. Lucius has 6 energy, so we're going to expend some of that by performing a movement action towards the Eldritch Horror. As you can see in the combat log, that has been listed there, that Lucius has moved. Now we're going to use our first attack. Oh, and the movement cost 1 energy because we moved 1 space. We're going to use our Bloody Slash. The description of that is shown there on the tooltip. And we're going to use it on the Eldritch Horror by right-clicking. Now, we selected this with left-click. And as you see in the combat log, it's got a complete description of exactly what's just happened so that you can keep track of what's going on in the battle more easily. That is Bloody Slash working well. Now we're going to demonstrate Dancing Dagger, which is our ranged option, which means that we don't have to move into range. We can just throw it at the Terror, and as you can see here in the combat log, that worked as well. Now we're going to use Shadow Shift to expend the rest of our energy, and this is going to make us invisible, preventing them from targeting us on our next turn. And as you can see, that black transparent aura around Lucius indicates that he is invisible, and so cannot be targeted. Now Beatrice, what I'm going to do with her is move her into range of the Terror, and then use our final ability that we have implemented, which is Blood Drain. That's going to expend all of her energy that she's got, and if she were missing health, it would heal her for an amount equal to the equivalent of the damage she deals. So she's going to, there you go, like that. We're going to resist this. This is the impulse system. So here we have impulse, which is a meter which denotes how close we are to giving in to our character's bad habit. So Lucius's impulse is to use Blood Drain on just the nearest target who is suffering from bleed damage, which is afflicted by Bloody Slash and Dancing Dagger. So if someone takes bleed damage between at any point on his next turn, he will generate impulse based on how many times that happens, and the impulse will be triggered. You then have the option of, you can give in and just let it happen and let him blood drain a random target, or you can resist, and a random number is generated between 0 and 100. If it's above your impulse amount, then you successfully resist. If it's below, then you fail and you give in anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to resist, and that was a success. What happened in the meantime there, because there's no animations on the enemies, it happens quite quickly. But as you can see in the combat log here, our enemies used their AI and automatically took their turn dealing damage to Beatrice, in the case of the Eldritch Terror, and then moving away, and our Eldritch Horror seems to have just run away from Lucius there. What we're going to demonstrate now on Lucius is the fact that you can, if you want to... Well, actually, first of all, let's chase after the Terror here. The Horror, sorry, and deal some more damage to him. What you can see is that Beatrice, because she has the same impulse as Lucius, because she has the same abilities currently, her impulse has also been triggered. Because she's quite low on health, actually, I think we could use a Blood Drain. And Lucius has also not received any damage, which means he's not had any bleeds applied, so there's no risk of her using Blood Drain on him. So what will happen is she's going to Blood Drain one of the enemies, which we're fine with, so we're going to give in and allow that to happen. But she's just taken some more bleed damage, so it counteracts it. What we are going to do is move over towards the Terror and then just manually use Blood Drain on this enemy to recover some health. Lucius has taken a lot of damage there, so we are going to resist our impulse, just in case we hit Beatrice with it, and we're going to move in towards the Eldritch Horror and use Blood Drain on them. Once again, we're resisting our impulses because we don't want, because both of our characters have been hit with bleed type abilities, we don't want them to target one another by accident. But unfortunately what happened there, the combat log would show it, the enemies attacked our protagonists again and finished them off, unfortunately. But we do have the option to start again, so we're going to give the combat another go, and this time, hopefully, end up winning. So I'm going to, rather than showing off all the moves as we've seen them now, try to be quite optimal here. So we're going to use lots of bloody slashes on our enemy there. I'm not sure if we have the energy to move into range here. We do, just about. So now the Terror, because he's got no one in range, he just used this movement option. We're going to resist the impulse here. What we can see is the Horror has used his attacks on these two. But what they're going to do is just team up on him and try to finish him off as quickly as possible. There you go. So that's one of the enemies down. Beatrice is going to try to resist her impulse because she doesn't want to attack Lucius. But it looks like she failed, and actually she used Blood Drain on the dead enemy here to regenerate some of her health, which is a slightly unique situation, because I guess the dead enemy is technically bleeding because they suffered bleed damage. Obviously it doesn't benefit her substantially to do that because the enemy is already dead, so it doesn't matter whether she blood drains them or not, but she does regenerate health that way, which is useful. Right, so now what we'll do, since she's quite healthy, is we'll now just spend the rest of our energy on the Eldritch Terror, who is then going to take their turn. We'll try to resist our impulse on Lucius, which happened successfully. We'll move into range, and then apply some bloody slashes. Looks like she failed the impulse there and then ran over to the dead body to drain it again. And this is kind of a demonstration of the impulse system in action, is that 2 turns in a row she's failed to resist her impulse and ended up running over to an already dead enemy and using blood drain on them, which is it means that she then has less energy to spend on her actual turn. And by the looks of that, what happened was that Lucius failed to resist his impulse, and he would have used blood drain on the surviving enemy, thankfully, and killed it off. And so our heroes are victorious. What would happen then in the actual game is that the barrier around the area in which they're fighting would disappear, and the characters could continue on throughout the zone. If I hit continue here, it should just close the demo. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. That's the combat system in action. Again, apologies for any background noise. Not very much I can do about it, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. That was Moral Vice.